there's two processes I'm going to talk about. One is the referral process right here, and the next is related. It's called the Dream 50, which is right here. Both of these processes are in the Getting the Business library. So if you go Add from Library, General Processes, you're going to see the referral process here, and then the Dream 50 process here. So most small businesses, and this might not be true of you, but a lot of small businesses are started by word of mouth and referral. You know someone who knows someone, got a great reputation, suddenly you're doing that work. Or you bought an existing business which was built on reputation and referral, and the business just starts to grow. And if you do great work and over time it starts to grow and grow and grow, and some businesses I even hear to this day are so many leads they don't know what to do with, and it's all from word of mouth and referral. Well, it doesn't take much for two things to happen. One, you hit a wall, you hit a ceiling with it, and you can't get beyond that level because the word of mouth and referral is not proactive, it's reactive. So you're always up against this wall that you just can't get past. And it's a difficult place to be in as a business owner because you're always pushing against the wall. And if you could just get over it, you could hire the next person, which would then take you to the next level, is what the thought process is. But there's not enough leads ever to get consistently past that point. Or it fluctuates so much that you're leery about adding that next level. So with the word of mouth and referral, it's not, it's a great thing to have. It's a great luxury to have. But what makes it even better is when you can turn it into a proactive method of advertising and not just a reactive method of advertising. So that's what this active referral process is about. So we're saying we know we have great referrals. We know we have customers that refer other customers. Let's make this more proactive. Let's make it so that we can quantify and measure how many referrals we could potentially get, which allows you to then plan. So the best thing about proactive advertising methods is they're quantifiable. Like you know if you spend a certain amount of money on it, then it's going to generate a certain amount of leads. So the second thing that typically happens when your business is based on word of mouth and referral is if something happens in the economy, in your industry, competitor comes along, suddenly it could all be wiped away in a minute, and you've got nothing to fall back on. You don't have anything proactive to fall back on because you've been relying on this reactive method, and suddenly you're cut off at the knees because of some external factor that you didn't consider, and you're stuck thinking, I got to implement advertising, but then it's too late. So here with this referral process, this one again came from the library, and as it stands now, it may not work for every industry and every business, but the theory is the same. So even if you look at this and you say, oh, this won't work for my business, still consider what it's doing because you can then take that concept and implement it in your own business. This is a process more for a service business, although I've seen this used in construction as well. Manufacturing, even with distributors. So the idea about it is you have a salesperson or a lead generator which is approaching your clients in a certain way, your ex-customers, your strategic alliances, your vendors, and walking them through a process of saying, hey, we do great business for you. Who else do you know that we might do business with? And this can happens on a regular basis. There are letters inside this process that you can use. There's uploaded files right here. There's one specific that was edited for a contractor. So you can look at this and kind of gives you an example of how to edit the letter for yourself. Send the letter out, follow it up with a phone call, sit down with a really good customer of yours and say, who do you know who might use our services? People aren't bothered by this. So I think there's sometimes resistance to asking for referrals because you're thinking you're bothering people. If you're bothering people, then they'll tell you. The only way that you're going to find out if this will really work is to try it. So kind of try to get through some of that resistance and think, what is this referral process that will work for us? If you don't want to send out letters, think about an email campaign. There's a way to do email newsletters in the library as well, so it would be the same idea. You can use Constant Contact or your CRM to then send out emails saying, hey, we're looking for referrals. If your industry works for this, you can offer little gifts. You can say, give us a referral, we're going to give you this. You can do a monetary incentive. A lot of times if people are happy with the business that you've given them, they're going to refer you just because they like you and they like your business. So this is about coming up with tasks, coming up with a methodology to do this. Think of the steps that you want to take. Choose past clients that have gotten a great result from you. Divide the group up. Select the ideal 25% of the clients that you're going to approach over the next 6 months. Put them into your CRM. If you don't have them, put them into Outlook. Send out the intro letter. Follow it up in 4 days with this initial call. So there's a script here which describes how the call would go. So all of this, all the library processes, including this, can be edited just by going to edit mode. So for whatever reason this doesn't work for you, then start to think, what would the conversation sound like for you? If you're in a retail business, maybe this happens over the counter. So like, hey, you've been coming in here a long time. What friends do you have that you might refer to us to? So any kind of situation this can happen. So this process gives you one method for doing this, but again, you can edit this and modify it and kind of make it, your own process. If you follow a process like this and you think about this percentage of clients we're going to go after in the next 6 months, we're going to make X number of phone calls, we're going to send out wide letters. In 6 months, you can measure the results of this and see if it did work or see how it worked. Think about all your different sources or avenues for doing touches to your people, either email, telephone, when you're on the job site with them, after you've finished a job. Hey, you just said we did a great job. Can you fill out this form and give us some referrals? The reason that this process and what it describes works so well is because, or can work well, is because we're not suggesting you send out letters and say, fill in referrals and send them back to us, because people don't tend to do that readily. It's just like more time it takes. What this process is saying is give them a call and say, hey, we just did great work for you. Who do you know off the top of your head that might, help us in the future? Could you write us a letter with a recommendation? Have your recorder available. We do this with TouchStone subscribers. If someone calls up and says, oh, I just love your system, it's so great, I say, hold on a second, can I record this? And we record it. And we say, hey, what do you like about TouchStone? And they talk about it, and we record it, and we post it on our website. So think about little ways to capture that immediately, either by calling and saying, hey, who do you know? Who's your friends? Who's your accountant? Who's your lawyer? Who lives next to you? And then in the moment, start writing down those names.